Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's just 121 days until Christmas 2022. And today, there's just 26 days until Andor Season 1. We get our first 3 episodes of the season. And today, I've got my good friend Jason Ward with me. Jason, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm quite well. And it should be said right at the top, any time of day is a good day, time for breakfast.
Sure.
I know it's a little early still. It's not that early. It's like 9, right? In the morning for you. That's a good breakfast time. But it's also a good breakfast time for somebody who's in New Jersey. My good friend Quentin. Quentin's in New Jersey. He's having breakfast. That's great.
All right. What are you eating, Quentin?
Yeah, okay. We got to adjust. Well, okay. I got you peeked out here, Jason.
You got me peeked out?
I do. I can reduce mine so that
you know
people...
what? I have you have a lot of gain on the top of your voice. I think your gain is rocking. I think you're ready to go like St. Vincent.
Okay.
You're like we got the mic and you're like doing like this kind
of
stuff.
I got you. So hopefully, I'm way too loud. Hold on. I see it.
Rocking it though, man. Oh,
how about that? Is that better?
Oh yeah. You sound normal now. Now you sound normal.
I'm looking at the meter, and it's at least not.
Quentin's all. I'm sorry, my volume was also low. Worst sound man ever, Quentin. No, you were right, Quentin. It was. I just woke up. I was supposed to. I would take the kids to school in the morning, and this morning, my ex is like, they want me to take them to school. I was like, okay. I just didn't wake back up.
Yeah. So he's having croissants, boiled eggs, and bacon, and coffee.
All right.
Now you could have done the eggs like at McDonald's, right, where you kind of hard fry it, and then put it on there. Put your bacon and your like fried egg and croissant together. There you go.
All right.
Now Matt says, "Okay, Santa, turn yours up just a little bit.
Turn it up. Come on, let's do it. There we go.
Just a little bit.
Oh no, that was too much. I can tell that was that too much, you guys. It might have been too much because now I hear a little bit of the game, but I could be wrong.
Okay, hold on. Well, there's another option here. I could. No.
I blame Baymax, not the fact that I slept in today.
Let's see if I adjust this. Adjust.
Okay. You got the gain back now. Now you sound like St. Vincent.
Too much.
Oh yeah.
This way, better.
That's good. Wait, I think that might be it. That might be it.
Dawn, is that a notch? I don't know what it is today, but hopefully this is better. Just a little bit.
You have the only Star Wars show that goes up to 11, so you're like the Spinal Tap of Star Wars shows, and that's not bad.
Matt says it's good. Quentin says it's perfect. We're gonna go with that. So I asked right at the top of the show if George Lucas should start doing Stan Lee type cameos in Star Wars.
You're gonna say stand up.
No, like Stan Lee type cameos. So every Marvel movie until his passing, he would just show up in some scene, either as a bus driver or some random dude walking on the street, or whatever. Right?
He's a void of charisma. It's not like he could come in and like be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going, true believer?" He'd be like, "George Lucas." Like every time, it'd be the same thing. You know that clip where he walks behind the guy who's making like a documentary. He just like walks on to that documentary. Yeah, everything would be like that.
Right. That'd be perfect. I like, just walking behind some dude on the street. Oh, and then and off he goes. Yeah, it came up because John and Dave did an interview. Yeah. And during the interview, they were talking about, would you like to see George Lucas show up? And John was like, "Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to see George Lucas in some of our stuff." And And Dave kind of laughed and said, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know how that would work. And John countered by saying, well, he's on set. Like he's hanging around. Just like have him
Yeah.
walk across. Like
Yeah.
I, we could have him be the jeans guy that was in that, hallway scene. Just have him standing on.
Yeah, they joked that he could play the son of Baron Papanoida.
Right, right. But they don't
Uh,
think he'd like to go through the
the blue
the
paint.
painting and all that, right? The
That might
makeup.
be his thing. You never know. He seems a little weird.
Just put him in his flannel shirt and jeans, just standing by a wall somewhere.
Yeah. And then, how about on the first airing, they hide him somewhere and then they CGI him out for the very next day. So you could only
Right.
see him if you watch the first night.
If you watch that, there you go. That's exactly what they should do, right? They put him in like a jeans guy.
He's like Homer with the bushes.
Right. and then they have the edited out one already ready. And so if you watch it in like the first 12 hours, you get to see George Lucas do the cameo. Otherwise, he's gone.
I'd be up for that.
Yes.
I'd be up for it.
I need it. That'd be great. No, but in more serious, do you think that I know fans would just love to, just because it's a kind of a nerdy Easter egg. Should they try to incorporate George into one of these shows or more?
In reality, I say no. Like it really it breaks like when Stan Lee shows up every single time, it breaks the fourth wall every single time. It's not you don't it doesn't help anything. Other people go, I know that guy. He called me true believer at Comic-Con. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's fun. And it's in that universe though, like the whole Marvel universe is mixing one genre with superhero and comedy almost every single film. And you can do that. Star Wars kind of, it's eccentric, but it's usually not. I would not usually call comedy as like the subgenre on those films. So I just don't think it would be appropriate. Like Andor right now, the series that we're having now, man, it just wouldn't like it. Be fine in Mando though. Would be fine in Mando where it's a little less, you know what I mean? It's a little bit on the more just fun, silly side of Star Wars. So
Yeah, I think that and he's already done a cameo, right? He's a blue guy, and we've already had what Dave Filoni's done a cameo. I don't. Well, John has as well, but you couldn't tell it was him, right? He's voiced a couple of things. He's been.
Filoni's also Chopper. They could give him a chop. They could give Lucas like a Chopper part. That would be less immersion breaking, maybe.
Yeah, and then like the Ducky Momo put like a hide an action figure, but could they hide something in scenes that is a reference to George, like I don't know, 1977 something on a
1138
or 1138.
Yeah. Well, you know why Lucas is always down there though. Everybody like fans wanted to think it's because he just loves Jon Favreau and that they're just always playing checkers and stuff. But it's because his son works on the films. Like that's the number one reason. I think if Jet bounced to another production, I don't know if you'd see him so much.
Gotcha.
Personally.
Yeah. So I'll make a note here because I see the chat going. It's great. You guys are doing great. But I'm reminded we've started doing our live stream chats as subscriber only. So you don't have to be a member. You don't have to give me money to be in the chat.
But you should. You should.
Well, that's okay.
You should. Give them all your money. Give them all your money. Cheapskates, especially you, Jedi Mike.
We've reached a level where bots get invasive. And so I've turned it to subscriber only. So all you have to do if you want to participate in the chat and you can't figure that out is subscribe. You don't have to join. You don't have to give super chats. If you just want to interact. Now, super chats do get my attention more, and I'll be sure to get to them.
Sell
But
out.
you're not even required to do that because we
Shill.
also
Mhm.
we also have a Patreon account where you can join there for as little as $1 a month. Not $1 a super chat, but $1 a month, and you can put a super chat in there for free, and I'll read it during the Patreon only
Just
portion of the
$1
show.
a month feeds breakfast to 15 L's. Think about it.
Think about that. That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. So that was one thing that was in the news. It was because of John and Dave's discussion they had. The other thing that came up this week was that we have a new little clip, right?
Oh yeah,
We have a new clip. I've got it here.
this
I'm
clip.
going to
This clip
mute
was
it.
made for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why?
I think it's the punkest thing that ever happened in Star Wars. I love it.
It's great.
Hmm.
And I saw somebody mention like this scene here where you see the chain and they're like in this like warehouse thing. Uh, Also appears in the trailer where there's blasters fire. So it's possible we could end up like this is where there's an ambush in this
Yeah,
scene. Right? They may tie it right together. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
Because they're
Andor
talking.
might try to rob him first before joining the rebellion. You never know.
Well, we've been wondering, is this guy a double agent kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. It does. It does. We know not in the first episodes though, because people have seen the first four,
Right.
and so I was told a lot of things from somebody who saw it. That if the double agent thing happens, I would be surprised if it's in the first four.
But I'll also say that what Ander is saying here
Andor.
is true. Like a lot of times, if you just walk through a place like you belong there, nobody asks. They're like,
That's how I ditched school. That's how I left high school. I had a book. It was Catching the Rye. I just wrote bathroom paths, Mrs. Shits, and I walked around and then just like I was supposed to do whatever I wanted, and it worked.
well, I'm going to reveal a little known secret. Some of my family know this, but many of my friends don't even know this.
Mm-hmm.
But and many of you may know my first name is not Brian. That's my middle name.
Yeah,
I was named after my dad. But by the way, Dad is in
doing
the
good. Is he doing good?
he's in the rehab facility now,
All right.
and he's getting better. But they're working with him. They're working him out, making him uh, exercise so that his like core strength gets better. But so I was named after my dad. His name's Rodney Lee Miller.
He gets no respect.
And I was named after my dad and my great grandfather, William Jennings Bryan Comer Sr. So they
Yeah.
took Bryan out of there. So William Jennings Bryan was a politician. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, boring. So, but my first name's Rodney, and so for school, I would make a note. Please excuse Brian from class today. We have family things to do. Rodney Miller. And I just
Yeah.
turned it
Yeah. I didn't forge anybody's name.
in. No, I talk about myself in third person.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? What's so I love it. That's great. Hey, wait. And Meg says in England we'd call you rotters.
Rotters.
Rotters. That's great. Yeah. It is a
Man.
cool, but Kindle. So with a lot of black folks, they don't pronounce it Rodney. They put a T. It's Rodney.
Rodney.
It's a common thing. Most I would say even black people that I've met, I'll say they get me on the phone and it says Rodney Miller there. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm here. I go by
Revenge
Brian.
of the Revenge of the D. That's what it's an acronym for. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Rot-
no. My great grandfather was named after William Jennings Bryan, who was one of the architects of Washington D.C.
Oh wow.
And he is buried in Arlington Cemetery, overlooking D.C. because he was one of the major architects of it. And so my great grandfather was named after him, and it just took his whole name and then put his last name. So he's one of these four named guys, and then he named his son the exact same, so he became a senior. So he got five: William Jennings Bryan Comer Senior.
When I was having my son, when my son was on the way, I thought about my grandfather's name, which was Herbert Durain Ward, and I was like, nope. Love my grandfather. He's my best family member by far before my children came. Love that guy. But then I was like looking at like the old like little family history thing, and my great grandfather's name was Race, which is badass, like the coolest name. But when you put Race with Ward, you're literally writing Race War. I was like, no, I'm not naming my son Race War with the D at the end. So, but I was like, man, that's like some speed racer stuff right there. Race, you know, like that's so cool.
I was in the Army with a guy, Eric Line, Line, and they had a son, and they wanted to name him Mason Dixon.
Mason
but his
Dixon
wife vetoed that. She's like, nope.
Yeah, not a good idea.
I think Mason's an awesome name.
Sure, if you want to get beat up a lot. No, I'm kidding.
Probably not if your last name is Line.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. So we had that clip. Now, what I really wanted to the clip though, it's really great. And do you think
he spits in their food? He spits in their food.
Other small ones like that along the way, little 10, 11, 12 second clips.
Yeah, I do. In fact, we will for sure. Without a doubt, we will. And there's a lot of this show they're having to work to promote. Like it's not a slap on the wrist or the face of the show's quality or anything like that. It's just it doesn't have 40 years of, oh God, I grew up admiring Andor. Oh, I know everything about Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's my favorite character, and I'm going to tell you how it should go. But they're gonna hate it because of that. But they're also gonna watch it because of that. And Andor just doesn't like have that going for it. Andor's like a new thing, and then on top of all that, it doesn't have like, by the sound of stuff, it does not. It's not going to have that accessibility of Mandalorian, where it's like what Star Wars at its most pure, stupid, fun level. Which that's not a knock. That's just what it is. Right. And it's like, so they've been calling it Star Wars for grown-ups.
Yes.
And that kind of, so that doesn't sell itself. That doesn't give you Grogu. It doesn't give you, in theory, a ton of cute moments that you could just like people go, oh man, remember when B2 emo, threw up? Everybody laughs. I don't think we're gonna get that stuff in this one. So I think they're going to literally have to be like, they're gonna have to appeal to the fandom stuff of, I'm not stupid, I'm smart. They're gonna have to play to that and go, yeah, I like grown-up stuff too. Oh, I like Andor because I'm a mature adult who doesn't just worship superheroes. So that's what they're doing. If you look at what they're doing, that's 100% what they are doing right now. That's what all of the marketing, all of the, I think, strategy is. Make dummies feel smart.
So I saw somebody twist that. That's sort of a lead that's been going around, that this is made for grown-ups. This is like your Star Wars all grown up. Not for mature audiences, but for grown-ups. And
it's for Star Wars people who've grown up.
Of course, I saw somebody put that as it being an insult for all other Star Wars, because this is the first thing that's for grown-ups. And if you grown-ups have been watching other Star Wars, then you're man babies. That's what you are. I'm like, come on now.
It does not mean that. Like I love the majority of Star Wars. But like if you look at The Mandalorian, what it takes to get like I don't know, if I tried to put Succession on and watch it with my 8-year-old, we're not going to get anywhere. Right. But I could put Mandalorian on and we're going to get there. Very easily. Whereas this show sounds like it's a little bit more in the Breaking Bad narrative conceit. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It doesn't. Everybody thinks everybody's apples or oranges. Everybody thinks in binaries. It's just no. Star Wars is bigger than a stupid binary concept like that. You know what I mean? It is. It's genre, which is very elastic, and this one is just pulling over here, whereas most of it's been over here. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope it's good.
Meg says, "What if I never grew up?" I said, "Well, that might explain your height."
Oh
no, I'm kidding.
yeah.
I'm kidding. Meg isn't that short. She says she's short, but she's 5'4". That's not
Megs and bacon. That's a big breakfast. That's a big breakfast. To go back to the start.
It's great. And hey, I saw Matt Risman in the chat, and Matt was on Meg's Discord this morning mentioning he just finished Catalyst. And how
I thought you were going to say just finished breakfast. I was like, well, we're really going for this, aren't we?
And we talked about Catalyst earlier this week.
Yeah.
But might we get any Catalyst cameos in Rogue One? Like characters that were introduced in Catalyst. And Catalyst does a great job of giving you a backstory between Galen, Urso, and Orson Krennic, right? So it's a great backstory about their friendship and the trust they have for one another, and how Krennic used his friendship with Galen to kind of get him doing something that he wouldn't have done by kind of twisted stuff, right?
Yeah.
Matt says he was asking Meg, could we get Has Obit in there? Because he was a bit of a thorn in their side for the Empire, right?
Worst first name ever, though. Like it just every time I see it, I'm like, he's like, has Obit has some Ritz crackers for lunch? Like everything about like that name sounds like he's asking has, like, I don't know. It's like a question. Something about it. I don't know.
Obit is short for obituary.
Obituary, yeah. Which
right?
kind of metal when you think about it. Actually, I think B2 Emo and Obit would hang out. He'd be like, I don't know why, like you just seem cool, says the robot.
Yeah, I don't know if we get Has Obit. Like, there's a joke that says every morning I check the obituary to make sure I'm not on it, right? So has Obit. Do I have the
has obituary come? I don't know. I can't read. Yeah, what if he talked like that? They're like, well, why'd you do that, Tony Gilroy? And he's all, just wanted to represent everybody, all of the Star Wars fans, even the dumb ones.
I think the only cameo you might get from there isn't truly from there, but it'd be Moff Tarkin, right? But he wasn't introduced in Catalyst. I don't know that they would bring. I mean, maybe they will, but I just don't know. I don't know. It's a great prequel to Andor, and I think it's a great read. And folks, you still got 3 weeks. That's enough time to read Catalyst, and you can get it from public library for free here in the U.S. It's worth.
Or you could just search Catalyst audio files and get it right away too. It's really easy. It's everywhere. Just saying. Just throw that out there. It's called Google, and there's free stuff on it.
I'll neither confirm nor deny that I have done that with other Star Wars content. Not this one. I get it from the library, but I've done that with some other Star Wars content. And you can find all kinds of stuff in PDFs. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think Catalyst is great prequel, if you want to put it that way. It's a great prequel to Andor, and it would be absolutely worth your time to read. So that'd be great. Yeah, artists must be paid. So public library is good as well, right? So, all right. So what I wanted to the main topic today is John Boyega, because there's a new article that came out kind of late yesterday, on the Direct, and let me get that available here, and we can look at this first, and then kind of back into some other content from this, right? Because this is an article, and it talks about a Star Wars actor, that's John Boyega, speaks on problem with Luke Skywalker's sequel trilogy arc. This is going right back to the Last Jedi, folks, kind of instigating that, and this is going to certainly be popular with a good number of Star Wars fans. But yeah, he's it's what we want to talk about, Nikki. Is he changing his mind? Money does talk, so he keeps talking about it for a reason. You're 100% correct, Nikki, on that part. So as you're reading through this, and a lot of this is tainted by Andrew Gilman's personal thoughts. Right? He's inserting
Andrew Gilman's personal thoughts.
This reads very much like an editorial, not an article, so to speak. And through here, yeah, Jordan Mason said he's already in talks with Camino. Meg, I love you so much. If ping me on Discord if you think you could join, we'll bring you in. But her voice to text is the best because she had to correct it. I like Camino better. He's in talks with Camino. They're gonna clone.
Yeah,
Palpatine's plan, his contingency for his contingency plan, is to clone Finn as his next.
I ate like corn on the cob. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, Meg's out right now. I know she texted me this morning and said she was not available, but I was just asking because I love you. The
Stuck
voice
up.
to text.
She's stuck up.
It's
just stuck up.
She's too good for us now. I kid.
I think she's too cool.
She's
her Discord's hopping. Look, doesn't need us anymore.
Nothing changed with that. Meg's always been too cool to hang out with me, and I've always wondered why. But she's great. So anyway, he goes on to
make her look better. That's what we make her look better. That's the only reason why she hangs out with us. We're the ugly friends. I see. Oh, okay. I see what she's doing. I see what she's doing.
If you look around and you don't have any ugly friends, you're the ugly friends. Yeah. I get it. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes total sense now. Yeah. So it says. So we get some of his commentary in here or editorializing. And
right.
He says it remains a sizzling topic of discussion. That's true. And there's a couple comments in here I thought were hilarious, just because the way he worded it was a little bit clever, but to kind of
John or the author.
The author. He's kind of poking the bear, kind of underhandedly. It's fun.
Sure.
So with Finn's story currently finished after Rise of Skywalker, Boyega served as an ambassador for Star Wars. He continues to support the franchise's endeavors. Recently voiced approval for the support of Moses Ingram in Kenobi. Though much is forgiven, Boyega isn't without regrets or designs of returning. So this is interesting. He says he's not without regrets or designs of returning. He's not without designs to return. So let's be clear about that too, because I think Jordan Mason may be right on this case that he is working on something, but it's just not a high priority for him right now, and it's not finished. So he's just going to back off of it. But in large part because he feels Finn's story is finished.
Maybe we shouldn't just look at co-opters though of other stories and use that as like evidence. See what I mean? Like on this one right here, like if it never happens, no one's going to remember. It's like retweeting somebody like Bespin Bolton and writing "yep." That doesn't mean you fucking know anything. Like that's just not what that is, and that's sort of where we're at. Just for the record,
yeah. He said he reaffirmed his position in a recent interview. He shared some thoughts on places he'd like to have seen the sequel trilogy go. Most night,
May gave me $2. I think that's your $2, but there we go.
Oh no.
All right, that was it. That's what you get for $2. An on-tune guitar and that.
That was
Sorry,
brilliant,
sorry.
Jason.
It was Meg's idea, though.
So John, I saw that. John Boyega's he wanted more from Luke Skywalker, and he voices here what I think a lot of fans have said, which is also a bit of this confirmation that he's engaged with Star Wars. He's a fan of Star Wars. He is aware of what some of the he's aware of what the fandom is, kind of the narrative, and he's voicing of some of it here. And he says in an interview, he says an actor admitted The Force Awakens his favorite of the sequel trilogy. It's mine too. And oh no, Quentin's wondering, does $20 get you the entire performance?
Yeah, probably. But wrong show though. Wrong show. Gotta go to my show. I'll do it for $20. Take off my shirt.
So we just need a recording of it. We can play as an alternate intro or outro. You know, that's what we need, Jason. So
all right,
but yeah, we need to make that happen. So
all right.
Says the sequel.
Yeah,
The Force Awakens is my favorite of that trilogy. What's your favorite of the trilogy?
The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That's Meg's as well. Yeah. You were going to say something? I interrupted.
Well, every single time one of these stories goes around about John Boyega and they're making a Disney Plus series and he's in talks and all of that kind of stuff, I've asked about that stuff as it's happened, especially on like slow news weeks and stuff like that. And oh yeah, I'll do it, Meg, for sure. Anyways, what I was going to say was every single time I've ever asked, they've been like, they touch base. They've also told me that to some extent, the actors who are truly like on, we'll call it the docket, they get a little paycheck every year, just almost like a lawyer on retainer.
Oh,
For years, for instance, Mark Hamill was getting, I heard it was $20,000. And it was just in case. And it was like a very early, like low level deal, but it went for years. And it was a just in case we want to bring Luke Skywalker back. And like, so like, there was always like a thing of like, will they or won't they with Luke if they want to? And it was always like, they can if they want to. So where I'm going with this is every single time with John Boyega, that there would be like a news story about it, I would ask, and just casually. And it's like they touch base from time to time with everybody, which could make some of that stuff true, but it's never been true. There's been about 15 times, about 15 months of stories where John Boyega has a John Boyega Star Wars John Boyega series on John Boyega's Disney Plus. And every time it's been not true, not at all. So two things are happening here. The first thing is he just wants that to stop. Because it's not like he like wants it to stop. Like, I hate it, stop it. But he's just like, let's quit. Like, I'm not anywhere near it. But it's also he's priming the pump for when when they do come back to him. If he pulls the Harrison Ford and says he's not interested for 5 years, everybody goes, John Boyega's never coming back. He's not interested. He's gonna get he's gonna get that producer credit. He's gonna get that like he's like, I'm not coming back unless I'm a producer, which is what Diego Luna and Ewan McGregor got. Like he's setting himself up for when that time comes. He's not stupid. Like that's what this is. 100%.
He's a very smart guy, and he is more complex of a human being than people want to pigeonhole him into, and I think that's what he's pushing against. He's pushing against being pigeonholed or made into a two-dimensional character of himself. He is much more dynamic. He's a far better actor, and he has far deeper interests than people want to attribute to him. And we'll get into some of that in a moment as soon as we finish this article. But Meg, Kathy's got my Venmo. She just Venmos it straight to me, right into the bank account. No. and I love where was it? It's going by while I was talking to you. Hasbro misses the paycheck every time he says blurg. Hasbro's missing all the the money. That's not wrong. Yeah, Daryl, his depending on how you've read different interviews with him from different times, is how you might interpret what he's saying. But we're going to take a look at it. That's exactly what we want to address today, to see exactly what he's saying. Hey, Sheev's here. Good to see you. So here it says,
Hey,
I
Sheev.
always have some. He says it's about Luke Skywalker. Give him more moments of redemption, which I feel was needed after The Last Jedi. I feel like Star Wars fans needed more time with the old characters that we love so much. This is a common sentiment among many Star Wars fans. I think
You can't say that though, and then act like you didn't get the character arc you deserved. That's the reason you didn't get the character arc that you feel like you deserved. Boyega was because they had to service 3 characters that really didn't need to be in the story as much as they actually were in the end. That's the whole trick of going on the 7th part of a story like that and putting new characters in. Like, I don't know, man. I think he's a good actor, but I don't think he'd be a good writer. Actually, I think he was a really, really good young actor, but he is at a point in his career where it is time to put away the blockbuster Hollywood movies and actually get some really deep acting chops, and then come back to Star Wars when it's like when you get into that one for them, one for me kind of space.
Well, he's got a great quote from this last week that fits into exactly what you're saying, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to that in just a moment.
Okay.
It says he feels Finn has been left in a place on his path, may not be involved in the future. Look, I think Finn's story is largely untold, and that there's a lot more to tell. And so I think that Boyega here is just pushing back, right? What you said earlier. He's pushing it back against saying, yeah, I'm going to do Finn's story 1, 2, 3 through 15. That's going to be my next 15 movies. It's Finn's story. He doesn't want to do that. And that's not where he wants his career to go. So I think that's exactly sort of what he's pushing back against. And the way he words it, people are then twisting. And what kind of came out earlier in the week is that he said he won't come back to Star Wars. He did not say he won't come back to Star Wars. That's a very bad misrepresentation of what he said. And again, I've got that queued up. It says, I used to say the cast would come back, Daisy and Oscar, I'd be down for it. Not all Star Wars characters get clean-cut ending you want them to get. Creatively, Finn's reached a point where I feel like we can leave him there on his path and do other things. He's like, I don't want to do it right now. I think that's really the story.
But they're also not doing it right now, which affords him the opinion.
Yes, it does.
You know,
it does. It fits right in. Despite issues with Disney during the sequel trilogy production, Boyega is forever going to be a fan of Star Wars, even if he's not involved. And he says he's been watching Obi-Wan. He's been watching The Mandalorian. He's forever going to be a fan. As far as Finn's concerned, I'm good on that. This is what he said, right? I'm good on that. I'll be watching if Ridley and Isaac were to start a new trilogy. And then here's where it says that this is where the writer kind of gets some pieces in. He's criticized The Last Jedi. It won't be the last. Mark Hamill's been more than outspoken about the direction Rian Johnson took his hero, and Daisy Ridley leveled her own complaints.
All of that is just like The Last Jedi itself, though. Like when Mark Hamill is criticizing The Last Jedi, he says he goes into it not understand. Then I saw the full thing and I was on board. They stop the conversation before it's done to frame something every
That's
time.
True.
It's so dumb.
And there are tweets from Mark Hamill saying, I'm sick of people using, out of context stuff about The Last Jedi. He says, I enjoyed the movie. I like what Rian Johnson did, and stop doing that, right? But people aren't going to stop.
The day I got the phone call about Dio and Red Stormtroopers and all of that stuff that was coming into episode 9, the source also goes, they also had a screaming match with Mark Hamill because he does not speak in sound bites and he refuses to.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
This is my favorite sentence of the entire article, just because it screams the author's the writer's
Yeah.
perspective.
Hmm.
The sequels, including The Last Jedi in particular, have their pockets of ardent defenders. This is true. There are people who are ardent defenders of the sequels and The Last Jedi in particular. And then legions of haters. Pockets of defenders, legions of haters. I just,
Yeah.
I love it. I
Legions.
fit in a pocket now. I'm a pocket.
Can I? Okay, I love you, Palpa memes. Okay, Palpa memes. I love your tweets, and you're a good guy. But I woke up and I like looking at Twitter, and there was this tweet from Palpa memes, and he's like, "Nothing for us sequel about this. Is nothing for us sequel trilogy fans." And I was like, "What was the last Star Wars movie you saw in the theater?" It was the sequel trilogy. Why would the next thing they do be the sequel trilogy based? Like, we're not there yet, guys. Like that,
Yeah,
when you get down to it, and that's what this kind of like. I love the direct; it's a good site, but I mean, it's like, but that's what this is like playing upon is that whole kind of thing, because it's a whole. The sequel trilogy is a whole generation of Star Wars fans is Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they're the youngest generation mostly that's involved in it right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what's next? We want, it's like, this would be like us in 87 going, where's Luke Skywalker going? Why aren't you bringing him back? And then they're like, we're doing the prequels. And we're like, why are you doing that? I want to see where Luke goes tomorrow, not what his dad did, you know? And then I had to like accept that as a kid, like that they weren't going to do more Luke. It was really weird for me.
Yeah.
I understand where they're coming from.
I do too. I do. It took me a little bit to read this next sentence because it's just the way that it's put in here.
Yeah.
It says, nobody had a disgruntled ass. I was like, wait, nobody had a disgruntled ass. What's he mean? But he means a disgruntled ass Luke Skywalker.
Should that have had a hyphen? Maybe a disgruntled ass. Do you hyphenate a disgruntled ass?
Maybe put it closer to Luke Skywalker, like a disgruntled ass Luke Skywalker. Put that in quotes, and then you get. But I was just reading this. Nobody had a disgruntled ass. I'm like, oh,
I have a disgruntled ass. I understand exactly.
And so then he gives his own opinion. Right? This is the writer, not John Boyega, even. So you can't.
Yeah.
Matt Risman, don't be a disgruntled ass. There you go. Good life advice, right there. I
am disgruntled ass.
This isn't John Boyega saying this. This is the writer saying this, and so sometimes that'll get confused because people don't read. And it says Boyega's point echoes the sentiments of a large chunk of Star Wars fans. Again, kind of qualifying that. But the mistake Luke put himself, again, it just goes down into the same old rehashes of arguments against The Last Jedi. Just keep getting regurgitated here. The author's putting this in, the writer. So you got to get past, like, the rest of the article is about that.
Can we for 1 second though talk about how John Boyega is trying to like navigate Hollywood in the best way possible? Now he's trying to like, get better career opportunities. I gotta say, I don't think J.J. Abrams is going to give you any roles that help you grow. And by being mad that Rian Johnson didn't make you a Jedi, because that's the only problem that John Boyega has with the episode 8 stuff. And then he got mad that he was associated with the part that people got mad at, which was like casino stuff. But in the end, I would be sucking up to Rian Johnson if I were an actor before I would be sucking up to J.J. Abrams, to be honest with you. I mean, J.J. Abrams owns a big production company, but all the stuff he makes is relatively, simple.
Yeah. So let's go through a little bit of history here, and let's see if it ties together, and if John Boyega is truly like changing his mind, if he's double speaking. What's the story here with?
Oh, John? Nikki, why'd you do this to us? This is a Nicky plot to destroy the Jedi.
And
No.
Darth Elvis, I've got the picture hanging on my wall. Right? Like, so I mean,
Oh, Nikki agrees with me. I started picking on her, and she agreed with me. What am I doing? I'm ruining it. But here's the thing about that comment is, remember at the time when he said that, Daredevil, which I'm not knocking Daredevil for the record, I don't care, but Daredevil was like the epitome of great Marvel TV at the time. It was not the Avengers. And so it was like going to the minors when you played Major League Baseball. At that time, nobody knew what they were going to do on Disney Plus when he said that. And when he said that, it was the minors of acting compared to doing films. So you just came off basically $1 billion franchise, and then a trilogy of films, and then you're like, oh hey, you want to go do TV now? And he's like, no, I don't want to go do TV now.
well,
And it's
exactly. But I think what he's pushing back against is not Star Wars specifically. He's talking about major blockbusters, and we'll see this narrative throughout from 2019. That's where this story came from. 2019 through just last week, that we see the same narrative. If you read into the stories, you can see what he's saying. And here he's saying, you're not going to Disney Plus me. At the exact same time he said this, right? And he said, you're not going to Disney Plus me. But if he was referring to Star Wars TV series, and so on and so forth. And there's significant excitement. And it goes on to say what he's actually working on. Let's see. It's in this next article for sure. There's from Cinema Blend, right? So it's talking about. So this one came out. What was the date on this? I know it was December. Right?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. It was December.
Right. Yeah. So here's September. 9 months later, it says some of you might have learned about Boyega from watching Attack, Block, this other whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just because he's done with Star Wars, again, for now, doesn't mean he's leaving back acting behind. So he has this movie titled "They Cloned Tyrone," starring alongside Jamie Foxx for Netflix. That's what the project was. It was for Netflix. He's not pushing back against doing TV shows. He's not pushing back against doing indie films. He's not pushing back against doing streaming stuff. He's pushing back against doing the blockbuster stuff. We'll see that again. This will come back up.
But also but I think he's pushing back about going to smaller Star Wars when he's been in the biggest Star Wars. Like that's the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's like
maybe. But I think
I think he's saying he wants a film. I think he's saying he'll do films. I'm the film guy. That's what he wants to be
for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
He said earlier,
but it's also
definitely take that.
It's once again, Harrison Ford keeps going back to Lucasfilm projects. He acts like he hates the stuff. Maybe he does. I don't know, but he always goes back to it. If you could get Harrison Ford back, you get John Boyega back. Get John Boyega back twice as much.
I'm 100% confident of that, and I'm like 80% confident it'll be in a Disney Plus show. Let me just put that marker in the ground. But so it goes beyond that. It says he's completed work for episode Amazon Prime Video. So there's another, right? He did a thing for Netflix. He did a thing for Amazon Prime Video. And then and that comes, it premieres September 25th. So December, when he said, you're not going to Disney Plus me, bro. He's also saying he was already in the works to do this thing that was coming out 9 months later.
Right.
Cause they don't film those things and can them in just, a week. It takes a little bit of time. Then going back, his next movie was Naked Singularity, which I don't think I ever saw. I don't know much about it. And then a thriller movie for Netflix, Rebel Ridge. Again, never heard of it.
Did it come out? Did that even come out?
I don't know. Borderland. And then he's going to be with Felicity Jones, these other people. screen The Road to Balcom Street is laid out in Borderland, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to get more John Boyega. But you notice all of it is a mix of movies, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video.
I mean, it's like a rock star playing Wembley Stadium and then going, hey, do you want to go, play this little dive bar? They're like, no, I'm a rock star. I play Wembley Stadium. And so they're not going to go, and he doesn't want to go. And like nobody knew what Star Wars on TV was yet. Mando hadn't even come out yet, I don't think.
So this is what he said just January of 2021. So a couple months after the September 2020.
Is that Denzel? It looks like Denzel right there.
He does, doesn't he? He does. So here he is saying that acting role on franchises are like luxury jail, right? He wants to look on more small projects. And if there's an actor says working on franchises, John Boyega, but here he's talking about doing the Steve McQueen small acts for Amazon. It's a British anthology film series of West Indian immigrants in London from the 60s to the 80s.
Okay.
He's doing other projects. He currently has a few other projects he's working on. Jewel Taylor's They Clone Tyrone. We heard that before. Naked Singularity. We saw that before.
Did They Clone Tyrone come out? That sounds. I don't want to see it. It sounds cool.
I don't think any of these actually made it. That's why they're still in listing them as things he's working on.
Oh,
I never made it that far.
I didn't know how old this was. This is a newer thing still?
No, this is 2021.
Okay.
So they were first mentioned in 2020.
Pandemic and
Then they're mentioned again in 2021, right? And then we get into 2022. And I've got a few articles here from 2022 that kind of build on this same thing. And links to all these articles are in the description here. So if you guys want to read them more, you can see that. Here he's saying he doesn't want to do Marvel projects. Now, I didn't see this hit kind of the major news lines, but August 3rd and Collider is not looking to do Marvel projects. Remember what he said about luxury jail?
Yeah.
It has view on these major franchises. Marvel, Star Wars, he's not anxious to do those. That's not where his heart, his passion is. And he gives a little more detail about what drives that as well.
Well, also remember how much they made on the Force Awakens. Remember when the pay grid kind of leaked, and they made like $115,000 for the Force Awakens. All that for that. Every time they came back, they would get a pay raise, and I don't know what it was, what it jumped to after that. But when you look at that price point, there are indie films that are probably going to pay him what The Force Awakens paid him in the end. A semi-successful indie film probably is going to end up kicking back a couple of bucks. He's probably going to have some points on it and stuff like that. And doesn't really maybe not necessarily financially viable to do it. But if he plays his cards right, when he does come back, it's going to be it's going to be a better payday. He'll be able to renegotiate. I think that's all that this is. This is he's acting. He's playing reluctant.
Yeah. Well, and I know Jedi Jin and I've seen Nikki in the comments, hitting it as well, that he said they're not going to Disney Plus him. Nikki says he's got beef against Disney as a whole, Lucasfilm perhaps, in how they treated his character and the build up. There's a big story around all of that, but my argument is this luxury jail one.
But he always says, "I'll go back we go back and do something with JJ and Kathy anytime." And Kathy, he didn't need to say and Kathy. I don't think it is either.
I don't think that's what it is. It has to do with his passion here, and he says here, it's not the end of vision for me. All right, he says, I want to do nuanced things. I want to donate my services to original indie films that come with a new, fresh ideas, because I know it's hard to top Iron Man in that universe. So he doesn't want to do the big franchise stuff. He wants.
I want to be Adam Driver, please.
He does. Let me see.
I think
There's
he
a
could do it. I think he could. I think we also need to contextualize the fact that if you do 3 Star Wars movies in a row and that's what you're known for, and then you keep doing them, then that's for sure all you will be. You know,
yeah.
for the most part, some of these Marvel characters that aren't like what's his name, Iron Man guy, they're all gonna like, yeah, you're Captain America, dude. You're not that good of an actor. You could go do other things all you want. You're Captain America, man. You've done it too many times, and you're not a good enough actor to not be anything but Captain America. That's my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, and
You know,
that's a right. And so here again, as I mentioned, to Netflix's upcoming science fiction comedy, They Cloned Tyrone. So we saw that in 2019, 2020, 2021. Now it's upcoming in 2022. This is August 2022. So this is
okay.
so it's finally getting out. He's revealed his premise to be a pimp prostitute, to uncover a mystery in the hood.
Wait, wait, is he his own pimp and his own
I He
prostitute?
has revealed the premise to be pimp, prostitute. I
All I'm gonna say is that's taking all the money for yourself, and I you got to spread it around. You know what I mean? Other people got to eat too.
I don't know. I don't know how you become a pimp prostitute. A prostitute like a I. That's two separate titles. He's a pimp.
Yeah,
He's a prostitute. I don't.
I mean that's a jack of all trades, literally.
I can't follow that. He's uncovering a mystery in the hood. So on.
John of all trades. Sorry, I
And
got
then
myself.
he says in an upcoming project dear to Boyega is Viola Davis's The Woman King, where he portrays the role of King Gizo, ruler in 19th century West Africa.
Now he's a woman and a king. Come on, Boyega, leave some stuff for other people.
Well, it keeps going because he does have other
What is he now? The human robot? What's next? Come on, Boyega.
Well, there's more. There's more because you'll see. This is the one that came back that says a Variety. The title says he won't return to Star Wars. That's not what he said. Right? And that's what people are reading, but that's not what the actual interview said. And here he's talking about how the biggest part of this story, and I think a lot of people are familiar with it because it caught a little bit of fire, is that Will Morgan, he's a prosta-pimp.
Prosta-pimp.
It's like cat dog. Right?
That actually sounds like that. The way he mashed those together sounds like if Star Wars had no self-awareness and was like, well, what is this robot called? Well, it's a pimp and a prostitute. We're gonna call it a prosta-pimp. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah. And so here he's saying the same things he's been saying for a long time, right? Finn's at a good place where you can enjoy other things in games, animation. I feel like episode 7 to 9 was good for me. And he says he's found allies with Joel Taylor, Jamie Foxx, Tiona Paris, Viola Davis. Versatility is my path. You see that, like, this goes back to 2019. He's and the whole franchise jail, or luxury jail. It's a consistent theme, I think, since 2019. He doesn't want to be trapped in the luxury jail. He doesn't want to get typecast. He's more. He wants to be more dimensional than Finn, right? And that's what he's pushing back against.
There was like I don't know if I'd call it a controversy, but it was almost sort of like a few moments of actors kind of like wanting to almost unionize this certain concept. And I don't think it really went anywhere. But it was that when you do big tentpole films, you end up going on a world tour of promotion that's unpaid.
Yeah.
You're paid for the acting, for the part of doing the movie, and that includes you going around the world, going to every premiere that happens every single place, and doing interviews for days and days and days on end. And so I think that if that has a little bit to do with with why it sucks to do a big Hollywood movie like Star Wars.
I think so too. And so Yahoo News, Yahoo Finance, from the Daily News, published this yesterday. This is a yesterday article. He wants to play characters different from himself. We have to change ourselves to become somebody else. He's kind of this deep thinker kind of guy, right? He's trying to push different avenues. He wants to do it all. Like you said, hey, leave some for somebody else. He's like, no, I want all of it. You'll see that here.
Yeah. Both Adam Driver and Donald Glover are two actors that have done Star Wars that are doing exactly that. So it's like he sees what his peers are doing, and he's trying to do that.
Yeah. I'm showing a timeline of him walking back some comments. Yes. I'm working with myself at the moment, and it's not so bad. Yeah, you get along with yourself. That's good.
Nikki's really about like, I got you. We got you.
Yeah,
he said when he said that, like, you got to contextualize it with it. And also episode 7, I don't love the part, okay, but yeah, he was a janitor who rose through the ranks to become Phasma's, like, in Phasma's regiment that goes down with Kylo Ren. That's what you're supposed to take from the narrative. They just gave it to you backwards because JJ.
I love this term that's been coined now.
Prostapimp.
Gonna prostapimp.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. That's the best. But here we go.
More prostapimp.
He believes it's important for actors to portray characters who are different from themselves. It's the actors to define what that means in today's social climate. Every role I've played, I've had to change something fundamentally, a difference to how I am in real life. Even if it's Finn in Star Wars, I'm nothing like the character. We have to change ourselves and become somebody else. But I guess in this climate, where things are just getting a bit more political and sensitive, he's 100% right on that. It's just important for actors to define what that is, why I was trained, rather than audience defining what we are. I think that's what he's been doing since the beginning. Since 2019, you're not going to Disney Plus me. He's like, and saying about the luxury jail. He's like, look, I want to do other things, and then he goes on to say kind of different things he is looking into. James Franco has gotten some pushback. Bill Maher has gotten. Let's see, where does it go? I think we've got very political and very stiff to where actors have to portray people that they are. And that's not what acting is. Now, this is, again, Nikki and I think, agree strongly on this. You don't have to have an actor who is the thing they're acting. Does that make sense?
Did you see, did you ever watch Bill Burr's comedy specials?
No.
He has one on Netflix, and he's talking about people on Twitter. And it was about Bryan Cranston playing a quadriplegic and people going like, oh my God, he's so ableist. Like, why didn't they just get a quadriplegic to play that part? And he's all, because it's called acting. Right. He was acting.
Right. And you see a lot of that going on. They want to put an LGBTQ plus type character into a show. They want it to be an LGBTQ plus person, actor, portraying the LGBTQ plus character, and that's sort of
to go back to Philadelphia, back to Denzel. You start Denzel with a homophobic, very not sensitive man, and by the end of it, you feel really bad for people who have AIDS in the 80s and 90s, whereas a lot of the mainstream media was like, those people deserved it because they were having relations out of marriage, and that was like the way that it was portrayed in the mass media for a time. That movie was pretty important. Like, and that goes to show you that that's a flawed way of thinking. Now, I'm not saying that people from different walks of life shouldn't also, like, if you were a gay man, should be able to play a non-gay man very easily because it's called acting. Give them non-gay roles too, but we don't see Hollywood doing that so much. And they're like, "Oh, you're gay, so you play the gays on TV." It's like, you can play anybody on TV. You know,
Neil Patrick Harris is a fantastic actor. Yeah, he's a gay man.
Can we just call him a gay? He's a gay. No, I'm kidding. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was like, come on, you're not that old, Santa. You're only a few hundred years old, but you're not that old.
Not that. But he has played heterosexual guy, right? And he's a great actor. The work that he does, I enjoy. Everything that I've seen him in. He brings a dynamic to the role, and he's a wonderful guy. So I don't want to see Neil Patrick Harris, pigeonholed into only acting a certain archetype.
I want to see him play Nixon. Is what I'm saying. No, I'm kidding. Can you imagine that? Neil Patrick Harris as Nixon with John Boyega as civil rights guy.
Yeah,
that would be the best.
Asher McJeremy, many of you may know, he is in the performing arts. He is in New York City and involved in performing arts there. That's his profession. That's what he does to make a living. It is a vulnerable spot in casting entertainment that's being exploited by the uber woke. That is 100% true. And that's what I think Boyega's pushing back against. Like, I want to play more than, one type of person. And I don't want to be shut out from roles because I'm not a certain type of person. Right? I've got more acting chops than this. I don't want to be playing Finn forever. I don't want to be, wearing the golden handcuffs. I want to be free to play dynamic characters that have different kind of traits. So
that's a fair perspective, and also super fair to go and take that and say you won't do Star Wars when you're not promoting an indie movie at the moment, and then say the opposite to get articles bounced back and forth on the internet that mention what you're doing using Star Wars. I mean, that is the game in the end. You can just see it. There's a pattern here, folks.
There is a pattern. That's what I'm saying. Like, it goes all the way back to 2019. You read all the articles, put them together, look for the thread. It's there. You can see it. And this is great. He says he turned Finn into Star Wars. He won a Golden Globe for Leroy Logan, a London cop who founded the National Black Police Association. His latest film, Breaking, he's a military veteran who robs a bank, right? And then he doesn't expect to return to Star Wars, right? At this point, I'm cool off of it. He's wanting to enrich his career, right? To stretch the muscles. He even mentions it like stretching muscles at one point. And
that's ultimately good for us, because when he does come back to Finn, he's not going to look like a 40-year-old Disney Channel actor, which is the last thing that we would actually want for Finn or for Star Wars. Like, when he does come back, he's going to be better at Finn, I think. For what it's worth.
I think so too.
And he will come back. Oh, I bet anything he'll eventually come back. It just won't be in the next 3 or 4 years.
No, and I
that's fine.
I agree. It's absolutely fine. And he's saying other people can voice him on the Lego animated stuff, or if they do anything else animated, they can voice him. He's got other things that he's focusing on, stretching his acting muscles to be a bad guy, to be a cop, to be a this, to like. There's different things that he's looking for in his career.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be with these, franchise jails, as he put it, right?
Yeah.
This is a franchise jail. And the reason I say golden handcuffs is we used to call it that where I worked before. They would give you bonuses in stock options that would be dated 5 years out. So you get $10,000 in bonus. If you're here in 5 years, we'll give it to you. If you leave, you get nothing.
Yeah, and what, like, young professionals to the last 10 years change jobs about 6 times, I think was the average. So yeah, nobody's ever getting that money,
right?
Mostly,
right. Will Morgan. Apparently, he'll be all the things before he comes back. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Nikki, there you go. Maybe next time he could play a Jedi.
Yeah.
I think
I think that's why he's cool with J.J. Abrams, because I think there was a point in the production where they realized with where he decided to take things, everything was a little bit half baked, and I think he just gave a great gift to John Boyega because, like I said, during most of the production of that film, it wasn't that he was force sensitive. It's that he was in love with Rey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he was going to profess. That's why when they're about to die, like I said, in the sand, they're going down. He thinks they're going to die. Rey, I have something to tell you. That I'm force sensitive is the least important thing to let anybody know at that point in time. Nobody needs to know that before they die. But it's still in the movie because JJ's lazy and ran out of time. And so they at the very end, they tweaked the ending of the film, and then they made it where it was this force sensitivity thing. And that's a great gift to him, though, because that means if he does any more in the future, he gets to be a Jedi. We've never seen him do that. And now everybody's asking, what is, like, when Boyega's like, oh, I left him at a good place. No, actually, you left him at the crossroads, buddy.
Yes.
Like I'm going to college. You are? Yeah. And then we don't know what happened. What'd you major in? What'd you become? What happened? So
right.
It's literally, it's a very obvious game.
Did you get married? Did you have kids?
Yeah.
Like we don't know anything. Right.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, it was like MASH. He got in the helicopter and crashed and died. He got in the drop ship and it crashed and Finn died at the end. Like, no. Right.
And that's exactly what Jeremy's saying, right? There's too many hints, allusions, unended threads, right? That for him not to come back. Yeah. It would be very foolish not to give him his own series. And it could do a lot to satiate the promise of Finn through actually giving you the story of Finn. Much like your argument about Ming-Na Wen, right? And Fennec Shand. We've got a promise of a great character that's not been fully told. We've got this really cool character here.
Yeah.
What? Right? Other than being cool, what? There's a big story to tell there. Right? Finn gesture. What's MASH? You're dating yourself, Jason. We're old.
That's what that is. It was that thing you had to watch on if you didn't have cable. What's cable? Well, let me tell you, you just have to watch things on TV for like $60 a month.
It was like streaming services, except you couldn't watch them when you wanted.
Remember when Bruce Springsteen did 57 channels and nothing on? Boy, that didn't age well, that song. Stupid. So stupid.
Yeah, I just think we are going to see Finn again. We are going to see John Boyega as Finn again. He is just
Finnegan.
His
My name is Finnegan. That's going to come back playing an Irish Jedi named Finnegan.
I like it.
He's really stretching his acting chops here on this next Star Wars. Let me tell you.
That's what he's about. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's got an Irish accent. Where'd that come from?
Why can't John Boyega do whiteface, but we can't do? Yeah, that would be somebody on Twitter.
Oh no,
Jason. Yeah. I mean, this role though, this Finnegan character, you guys are gonna love him.
I think we'll absolutely see him again at some point. He's just not there right now. And if Jordan Mason is right at all, he may be in the works right now. I need a dartboard or a broken clock behind me. Whichever. I understand. I just think that right now it comes off because of the way it gets reported that he's changing his mind back and forth. I don't think that's been it at all. I think he wants to grow as an actor, much like Adam Driver, right? Adam Driver's doing different things, and Daisy Ridley's doing other things. I think Finn,
Daisy Ridley's like cleaning her room and like going for a walk on her dog, and I saw she shaved her head. That's cool.
No, come on. She's been in other movies. She's been in other projects.
No, a couple. Yeah, everybody's talking about him. Next level stuff.
You're harsh, man.
I am. No, I mean it, but I think we're going to see her back first. Is my point.
I get you. You. Oh well, you remember back when they said Daisy can't get a job because Star Wars was so bad that nobody wants her. She's a liability.
Just like Empire Strikes Back was so bad, nobody hired Mark Hamill after Return of the Jedi.
And what did Carrie Fisher do?
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
Burbs. She was in The Burbs.
yeah, but does anybody remember what she did other
I,
than
I saw
Star
I saw
Wars?
I saw The Burbs in the theater,
Like,
and
yeah,
it was just me.
was it?
It
My
was like
wife and
me
I
and my
went and saw it
dad's. My
back in
dad
the
was
day.
sleeping. My dad was sleeping, and I was like watching. I'm like, this movie's pretty cool. Carrie Fisher's hot.
I think all these actors are doing the same thing, right? I think Adam, Daisy, and John. They're and by the way, don't forget Oscar Isaacs. Oscar Isaacs has been killing it, right? Absolutely killing it.
Mhm.
He's done some great projects, and
And he was already. I mean, he was already like
more
doing.
established.
Yeah. Then he's like my age, like 41, something like that. I think. So he had more time to explore the profession. Finnegan is the name of the space leprechaun that tried to stuff BB-8 full of coins on Canto Bite.
I can see that.
All
I
right.
can see that. But I think eventually you will get that cast back together, or at least involved in pieces of shows here and there going forward. But they're not devoted to being just Star Wars characters. They're not these two-dimensional actors,
Yeah.
and that's what they're establishing. All of them, they're establishing. I'm not a two-dimensional actor. I've got more depth and versatility and variety in my career than playing these Star Wars characters, and I want to be known more than sequel trilogy Star Wars character, and that's what they're doing with their.
Well,
They
that's
said,
and that's where I kind of with Andor might be one of the first times that we're seeing where a very, very complex level of skill and acting will actually be used. Like even in those clips, we can see that if the performances are heightened over general Star Wars that we've ever had before. And I remember when Finn was cast, all of the racists were out going like, "Oh, they just cast a black guy." Why? I want the person for the best job. And in my head, I'm just like, if you knew anything about acting, if you knew anything about Hollywood, like the skill level to be a hero in Star Wars is so mid-level that like it caps out, and there's literally hundreds of thousands of white people and black and every kind of color in the world who could be this character at that acting level. So it's not really the way that you're framing this is trash, and you're just telling on yourself. Like that's really what that was in the end. But now for I think that's what I'm kind of digging about Andor is, I'll be honest, I have never seen John Boyega be in something, or Daisy Ridley, that I'm like, oh, you could be in the Andor series from what's being implied and what we've seen of it so far. I don't know if they are at that level at the moment. Maybe Adam Driver, in terms of the acting and the ability, like Adam Driver could do it,
well,
but
and Oscar Isaac, of course.
and Oscar
But
Isaac,
yeah. I think you're right.
but
Because I saw
both Finn and
Daisy
Ray,
in that, what was it? The Express.
the Orient Express,
Yeah, the Orient Express.
yeah.
Is it the old classic remake? Whatever.
Bring a
I saw
book,
it.
bring a book. I'll tell you that much.
It was okay.
I got invited
I
to
was
go see it at a press screening because they're like, "Oh, you like Star Wars? You'll write about it for Star Wars stuff." And like I saw, it, I was just like, "Oh my god, I want to go home."
I liked it okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think she brought anything dynamic to the role that is like to go see it. Right?
yeah.
If you're a big Daisy Ridley fan, then sure you get to see her. But
Like
I don't know.
Mark Hamill became a really good performer, and he became in the voice acting and stuff like that. Like and he's in no way a bad actor, but like Mark Hamill also like his style I think became outdated. Like he was like on like Little House on the Prairie, which is a completely different kind of acting style, like that whole TV style. And you do see him get better over the trilogy. Like you do see him kind of like step up. But then after that, like, okay, what was Mark Hamill going to do after Star Wars with that particular set of skills? And he went and tried to do he went and did the Elephant Man on Broadway or whatever, and was trying to like actually like grow as an actor after that. and it just for him it just never clicked, and then he fell into voice acting and became a really great voice performer.
Yeah.
And I saw him on What We Do in the Shadows the other day. He was hilarious. But like, to Rian Johnson's credit, and the stuff about Luke that was brought up earlier, he really wrote. I think he wrote Luke Skywalker as Mark Hamill. He let Mark Hamill play himself actually in that role to some extent. I think it made it a little bit easier to be that. Like, Mark Hamill's a lovable curmudgeon in real life. Like, he's just like, he's the no nonsense, but he's not a jerk. But he's like, you know what I mean? If you say something stupid, he's going to make fun of you. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like in a weird way, what Rian did with the characters, I think he tried to play to their strengths as actors in the stuff that he did. Like, when you look at like Daisy, it's like a lot of reaction stuff, which is what I think she is good at. But it's when that sounds rude. It's when she speaks, but it's like when she's a much better silent performer than she is. I don't know what you call it. I'm not an actor. Line deliverer. The more subtle Daisy's subtle moments are my favorite Daisy moments, for instance. That's what I'm trying to say.
I got you. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. So, look, I think I've laid out the argument that John Boyega is just trying to keep on all these press junkets. He gets asked the same questions over and over and over and over again, and he's trying repeatedly to express how can I get you guys to understand that I am more than Finn, and my career interest goes well beyond that. And it reminds me too of other directors, for instance, who will do the big blockbuster movie so that they can fund their indie work.
Mm-hmm.
There's several well-known directors that do that.
Sure.
And they take that money and then they go do a bunch of little indie projects. Boyega will back the truck up for another payday when he's ready. It will happen.
And we also should acknowledge that he didn't really get a payday on the first Star Wars movies. They were massively underpaid. Like I said, yeah. Force Awakens was $115,000. Cool, he could pay off his student debt if he was an American. that's not what you really think of when you were in Star Wars. Like, you think, oh, now you're rich and famous and you're eating caviar and sushi all the time. And no, not them. I mean, he couldn't even buy a house in the United States with the amount of money he made for that movie. Or anywhere for that matter, probably. So it's like just not. Yeah, I get where the guy's coming from, but he'll be back.
Yeah, I think so, and I think, and I saw it earlier in the comments, exploring his character further will improve the receptivity of the sequels as a whole.
Yeah,
when you see Finn's character arc go through conclusion, like I thought your analogy was great. Like, okay, you graduated, you've been accepted to college. All right, what did you major in? How did you do? What did you do after college? Did you get married? Did you have kids? Did you have, what happened in the rest of your life? That's where his character is set up. And if they can tell a compelling story going forward from there, then the sequels will come off far, far better for Finn, especially. A lot of people saying, well, that character in the sequels was done wrong. Well, my argument all along has been, well, you can't explore full detail every character when you have an ensemble cast like that. Like, there's always going to be some aspects of some characters that you're not going to get a full backstory to, or even a full character arc told in the course of 3 movies. And Finn, it wasn't the lead of his own trilogy. He was a supporting actor in, like, what was Chewbacca's full story in the original trilogy?
I wouldn't demote him to a Chewbacca though. I would put him more at a Han Solo level compared to Luke. maybe.
Okay, well,
But
that
you
may
know,
be
like
fair.
Luke's kind of like top of the pyramid, and then you got Leia and Han kind of like next.
Yeah.
Then you got Chewbacca, R2, and 3PO.
Okay. That's
And,
fair.
and Lando, he's somewhere in there. I don't know.
Well, same with Lando, right? So if people talk about how Phasma
Not because he's the black guy. Don't try to put that on me. I'm just saying he's the guy who like kind of came in.
Phasma was a wasted character. Well, I mean, look at our friend Boba Fett, or look at Lando, right? Like, what about them?
That was your Chewbacca impression. I'm sorry. That's best I can do. My voice is at a different octave than his, but if you
I just think that we've got a great potential of a character that deserves to be fully fleshed out, and to introduce him in that trilogy and expect that to be his story, as John Boyega has kind of alluded to a few times. Oh, I think we got a complete story of Finn. No, we didn't. Yeah. Shush your mouth. I understand you want to do indie projects. You want to do other things. You don't want to do Marvel. You don't want to do Star Wars. You don't want to do blockbusters.
Okay.
You know.
Well, yeah. If this could have just been random, off the cuff, and has no meaning at all, if there is intent behind it, it makes us go, "What are you talking about?" Like I said, it could be somewhat of a media manipulation to make us to go, "No, there is more story," and then for people to start asking for that. Yeah. Well, you could do the when Finn's the Jedi thing. Where's the when the Finn's the Jedi thing? And then people keep saying that. Then eventually Lucasfilm is like, we got to do this. And he's like, I don't know. And then they're like, well, you get to play an older version of Finn. And he's like, I don't know. I want more money. And then they're like, let's just get Denzel. 20-year time jump. We got Denzel.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the topics I wanted to cover today. We have a Mike Porter dad joke, and I think this one's got depth to it, because you could answer this in different ways. And so this one, you could come up with your own answer.
Is this a choose your own Mike Porter joke?
Almost adventure? A choose your own answer, right? His answer is a great one, but there are other possibilities that could also fill in the blank that could be just as entertaining. Like Mike Porter could probably do a week of dad jokes off of the same question, right? So with a little creative thinking, you could probably do that. So here's the question: what did Boba Fett say when he fell into a sarlacc? Oh, this is the pits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one answer. So, like I said, I think he could do a whole week on nothing but what did Boba Fett say?
I sent Mike Porter one yesterday when I was driving, and it was the dumbest one. It was, what do you call a stormtrooper who dresses up as a rebel in public? Stolen Valorum. You get it?
Good one.
Get it? Valorum. Valor.
We do have a Patreon one. I'm glad I saw Ducky put it in there. My Patreon gets bumped. No, I'll do it right now. Patreon, because this is a good one to get. The Continuing Adventures of Broom Boy. Ducky Momo's been telling this really good adventures of Broom Boy. So let me get this.
What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI. Huh?
Perfect. I like it.
Yep. It's a good one.
I like it. Let me get this here. There we go. What's the only science Shuri can't master?
What's the only science? Wait, who's Shuri?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. It's over my head.
I don't know who Shuri is. I'm sorry.
I don't either.
Fake fans. That wasn't in our shill memo. So
it's probably an Air Force joke. You know? No.
Oh, from Black Panther.
They're probably just dying. But no. No. Okay. Black Panther.
I only have time for one fictional mythology in my life, unfortunately.
Okay. Of course, Mike the Show Porter understands Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther. So there we go.
Shuri, I guess. That's what I did there.
The ongoing adventures of Broom Boy. It says we must discover what's going on with the kid. He's hijacked the Halcyon. and is preparing to launch the Holdo maneuver right into the vault that holds the naughty and nice list. You must protect the list at all costs. But the Halcyon's a place where Jar Jar's great-great-uncle's neighbor bumped into Jabba's pen pal's roommate. The priceless piece of Star Wars history must be saved. You need to pick your favorite Star Wars ship to transport a 3-person team of your choosing to retake the Halcyon and protect the list.
My mind went into a completely different place. I want Star Wars DB Cooper to show up, hijack the Halcyon, take all the money, and then disappear. And at the end, you're like, did he live or did he die? That'll be that's called what happens. You don't want to know anymore because the mystery is better.
A mystery sometimes is better. I think with Finn, leaving it a mystery is insufficient. But maybe Broom Boy's future is a mystery best untold.
Well, here's how you do it though: is you get a really old actor, right? And like you pan down, it's like a dirty city street. There's like some womp rats like jumping across, the frame, and like, ooh, that place looks kind of dangerous. Then there's just this old man, and he's sweeping, and looks at the camera and goes, "I used to be a Jedi." There we go.
He's got the ring. He's got the ring.
Yeah, no. At the very end, he tells the story, and then he holds up his hand, and then the kid he's looking to, so that was you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
There it is.
So dumb.
So the answer, I for a 3-person crew, it's got to be the Falcon. The Ghost would be good as well.
Ghost has hotter chicks on it in total. Do I just get to pick any of the people from that crew? Because I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna take. Because like I said, if I could take like Carrie Fisher and Laura Dern, like 87, 88. I'd pick that crew because that was probably a crew at one time, right? You gotta say like they probably were on a crew together at some point having Star Wars adventures.
Sure.
That's the best crew I could think of. Myself and Laura Dern and Carrie Fisher. It's the 80s. We're like, what? Cocaine's bad? We don't know that yet.
We don't know that.
Yeah. I'm just joking. I've never done cocaine, by the way. I never have. Don't do it, kids. It's not. I see too many people that are really messed up on it. It's bad stuff.
All right. Well, that's the show. I think that's it. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate.
I used to be a Jedi. Sorry.
No, we know. We need. We had the super chat. We need. We need an
out-of-tune guitar.
No. We need.
Imagine there's no Plagueis. It's easy if you try. Yeah. Imagine. Oh, I don't know how to put the chorus. Sorry.
I love it. And so there you go. That was awesome.
Imagine there's no Plagueis.
Yes, imagine there's no Plagueis.
That's for you, man. That's for you.
Thank you. That's a gift. That is quite the gift. I appreciate it. Matt was saying imagine no Plagueis daily. That's true. Now I've got a song to go with it. That's great.
Just don't imagine him.
She-Hulk.
Just don't imagine.
I did see She-Hulk episode 2.
I didn't know part 2 came out. I watched part 1. It was fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought so too. Episode 1 was entertaining. My wife and I both enjoyed it. Episode 2, we watched it last night and said, oh, wait, that's it? It's over? Well, I guess they're still setting it up. So, there's more story to be told. So I thought it was the CG on it is still takes me out of it when she's She-Hulk. I'm like, it still looks like what's her name from Shrek? Fiona.
Okay.
She still looks like Fiona. I'm like, I see Fiona Hawk, not She-Hulk. It's not working for me. So still needs work.
I'm waiting for the Mando. That's for you, Will Morgan.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm going to hit the outro. And Jason, you're doing your show here in a second?
Uh-huh. We're going to do it. Can I stop me?
I should be listening today. I've got some code to write, but some scripts to create. So I'll be listening in the background. We look forward to hearing you talk more Star Wars today. I always enjoy hearing you and Rob, or you and whomever, or just you.
Whomever. Just
the Jason Ward Yes, the Making Star Wars show. You guys make sure you catch that this afternoon, and we will see you next time. Until then, my friends, may the force be with you all, and ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Bye bye.
Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's a Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight on the Star Wars Santa.